The internet has many layers. What we know as the surface web, your everyday websites and social media platforms, is just the tip of the iceberg. Below it lies something darker. Hidden. Dangerous. The deep web. A place where anonymity breeds horror, and where some users stumble upon things so disturbing, they wish they'd never opened their browser in the first place. Tonight, we're diving deep into 3 true horror stories from deep web users. These are not tales of computer viruses or hackers. These are true horror stories of people who found themselves face to face with the paranormal, the criminally insane, and possibly even the supernatural, through nothing more than a computer screen. If you crave true scary horror stories, ghost stories, creepy encounters, and chilling tales whispered by the glow of a monitor, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. These aren't just haunted tales, they're a warning. Let's log in, if you dare. This story is about the room with no exit. David was a programmer by trade, curious and always looking for challenges. The deep web had always fascinated him. Rumors of hidden pages, black markets, and encrypted chat rooms only fueled his desire to explore. He stumbled upon a forum that promised a puzzle so immersive, it would change how you saw reality. Intrigued, he clicked the link. The site was basic, white text on a black screen. At first, it was just riddles. Then coordinates. Then code. Hours passed. He felt drawn in. The deeper he went, the more the puzzle changed. It wasn't just code anymore, it was personal. His own address appeared. Then a photo of his apartment door. David froze. He shut the site down, cleared his history, and unplugged everything. But that night, he woke up in sleep paralysis, unable to move, staring at his locked door as a ghostly whisper slipped through the room. "Come back to the room." The next day, he got an email from an address that didn't exist. It read, "You left the room. Now the room will come to you." His computer turned on by itself. Files he never downloaded appeared, pictures of him sleeping. Of his hallway. One labeled, "Behind you." When he turned around, there was nothing. But the whispers returned. Each night. A chilling voice from his speakers, from his walls. Paranormal activity followed him. Electronics glitched. Lights flickered. Shadows moved. He moved apartments. But the files followed. The same site. The same messages. One final photo showed him lying in bed, with a dark figure standing in the corner, pixelated but unmistakably real. He doesn't sleep anymore. The whispers are always louder at 3:13 a.m., a time now etched into his soul. And every time he opens his laptop, a folder appears on the desktop. The room. He tries to delete it. It always comes back. Then came the audio files. Distorted voices, some his own. Others unrecognizable. But always layered with ghostly whispers, saying things like, "You're already inside." And the door never closed. He couldn't tell if they were part of the puzzle or part of something far more sinister, something that had crossed from digital to physical. Soon, his nightmares grew darker. He'd wake up with scratches along his arms, as if clawed by invisible hands. On one occasion, he woke in sleep paralysis again, only this time, the shadowy figure from the image was no longer pixelated, it stood at the foot of his bed, motionless, watching. Ghostly hands seemed to reach out, grazing his skin as he struggled to scream. But no sound came out. Desperate, David tried burning his hard drive, changing devices, even moving across the country. But no matter where he went, the folder appeared. Friends who tried to help him investigate the files ended up hearing the whispers themselves. One of them developed night terrors, whispering the same phrase in his sleep over and over. "We're still in the room." David became convinced the puzzle wasn't a game at all, it was a ritual, a gateway. A trap disguised as code. A haunted tale programmed to ensnare minds and consume them. The more time he spent near a screen, the worse the paranormal grip became. Glimpses of that figure would appear in reflections, on blank monitors, in windows, always just out of reach. The final post David ever made online was on a dark web tech forum. It read, "The room is not a place. It's a presence. And it's here. It's always been here. If you find the link, don't click. Don't solve. Don't engage. You don't escape. You join." After that, he disappeared. His apartment was found empty, computer powered off, phone smashed. But the walls, they were covered in lines of binary code. And one chilling phrase scrawled over and over. "The room has no exit." This story is about live feed. Amanda was a night owl, drawn to the strange and taboo. Late one night, while surfing a deep web thread labeled Obscure Paranormal Encounters, she found a link titled simply, "Live feed, watch with caution." Curiosity got the better of her. The screen turned black, then grainy. A room came into view, plain, small, dimly lit. In the center sat a young girl, maybe 8 or 9, rocking back and forth. The feed had no controls, no time stamp. Amanda watched for 5 minutes. Nothing happened. Then the girl stopped rocking. Her head snapped up. And she looked directly into the camera. Amanda sat back. Goosebumps. The girl whispered something, but no audio came through. Amanda leaned closer. The girl raised her hand, and waved. Then pointed behind Amanda. Amanda spun around, heart pounding. Nothing. But when she looked back at the screen, the girl was gone. Replaced with static. Then her browser closed itself. A pop-up appeared. Connection unstable. But she found you. That night, Amanda experienced sleep paralysis for the first time. A weight on her chest. A pressure. She could hear chilling whispers in a language she didn't recognize. When she woke up, she noticed her webcam light was on, she hadn't touched her computer. The next night, it happened again. This time, she dreamt of the girl. Standing at the foot of her bed. Eyes black, mouth sewn shut. And behind her, something moved. A larger figure, blurry and swaying. Amanda couldn't breathe. Her nightmares turned into hallucinations. Doors slammed. Lights turned off on their own. She recorded audio at night. On playback, whispers, looping, layered voices saying, "Keep watching." She destroyed her laptop. Burned it. Switched to a new phone, new account, new everything. But when she opened her new device for the first time, there it was. Live feed, watch with caution. And deep inside, she could feel the girl watching her, from behind the screen. Amanda reached out to a paranormal investigator. He reviewed the story and cautiously agreed to visit her home. But after spending a single night there, he fled, refusing to return. In a statement to Amanda, he said the home was a beacon for something dark, something not of this world. He too had experienced sleep paralysis, claiming to see the same girl watching him from a mirror, her ghostly hand pressed against the glass. What followed was worse, paranormal activity that grew increasingly violent. Amanda was shoved in her sleep, heard whispers in the pipes, and saw shadows that didn't belong. One morning, she found her ceiling covered in handprints, too small for an adult, too distorted to be human. Every attempt to cleanse the space failed. The feed wouldn't stop. Even when she stopped using the internet entirely, the images would appear on her TV. The girl's face, smiling one day, weeping the next. Every time Amanda tried to leave her home, her phone would buzz with a message from an unlisted number. Don't look away. Amanda eventually abandoned everything. Friends. Family. Technology. She moved to a remote cabin, no electricity, no signal. But the night terrors followed. Ghostly whispers returned. She now believes the live feed isn't a website, it's a curse. A digital haunting, passed from screen to screen, host to host, feeding off attention. The last trace of Amanda online was a video, just 10 seconds long. A static-filled shot of her cabin. The door creaked open, and from the darkness inside, the girl stepped into view. She smiled. Waved. Then the screen went black. No one has heard from Amanda since. This story is about the buyer. Carter had always been into urban exploration and digital subcultures. He ventured into the deep web not for drugs or thrill, but for stories. Forums. Lore. That's when he stumbled across a site called Human Curiosities. Most of the site was clearly fake, photoshopped horrors, creepypasta nonsense. But one listing stood out. For sale, a haunted object. Buyer beware. This item chooses its owner. The image showed an antique mirror. Ornate. Cracked in the corner. Carter laughed it off, but the listing refreshed every 5 minutes, same mirror, but with a different background. At first it was a table. Then a shelf. Then a window, that looked like his. He closed the site. Turned off his computer. The next morning, there was a package at his doorstep. No return address. Inside, the mirror. He didn't order it. That night, Carter began to experience paranormal encounters. The mirror would shift position. He'd wake up and find it moved. One night, he saw something in its reflection, a ghostly hand, brushing across the glass. He covered it. Burned it. Threw it in a dumpster. But it always returned. Soon, he noticed bruises on his skin. He recorded himself sleeping. The footage showed him waking up at 3 a.m., walking to the mirror, whispering. But his mouth never moved. The whispers increased, true scary stories whispered in his dreams. He stopped sleeping. His mind frayed. One night, the mirror showed not his reflection, but a decaying version of himself, smiling, eyes hollow. He moved across the country. Got rid of everything. New name. New life. But the listing started appearing again. No matter what site he visited, there it was. For sale, a haunted object. Buyer beware. The last thing Carter posted online before vanishing was a single sentence. The buyer was me. Now I'm the item. His photo was uploaded to the site a week later, reflected inside the mirror. After his disappearance, friends who tried to investigate began experiencing paranormal activity of their own. One received a mirror in the mail, identical to Carter's. Another reported waking up in sleep paralysis, unable to move as ghostly whispers filled the room, repeating the phrase, "The mirror chooses." One even claimed to see Carter's reflection instead of their own, mouthing something silently, eyes pleading for help. An anonymous user uploaded a video supposedly taken from Carter's home. In it, the mirror's surface rippled like water. A figure, Carter's, stood on the other side, trapped, banging silently as the glass refused to break. Then, the screen cut to black, replaced by flashing text. You are the next buyer. Since then, sightings of the mirror have become part of modern digital urban legends. Some say it appears only to those who are already vulnerable, those dealing with depression, isolation, or trauma. It's said to feed off emotion, slowly tightening its paranormal grip until the victim becomes the next item for sale. Researchers and paranormal investigators have tried to trace the original listing, but every IP linked to the site vanishes without a trace. Anyone who interacts with the post too long reports seeing their own background change on the image, a subtle hint that they've already been chosen. Now, horror forums are filled with chilling tales about the mirror, often ending with the same, cryptic phrase. Buyer confirmed. And if you ever see that listing, don't click. Don't scroll. Don't linger. Because once you've seen it, the mirror sees you too. These true horror stories from deep web users reveal a terrifying truth: not every website is just lines of code. Some are doorways. Some are traps. And some are portals to something far darker than we can understand. From the ghostly whispers heard through speakers, to the paranormal grip of cursed objects, these true scary horror stories show that the digital world is just as haunted as the real one. And once something reaches through the screen, it might never let go. If these chilling tales kept you looking over your shoulder, make sure to like, subscribe, and share for more stories that blur the line between tech and terror. And remember, on the deep web, sometimes you're not the one watching, you're the one being watched. Stay safe. Stay offline. And above all, don't click the link.